Hello, hello, it's Angela with Dogwood Paper Arts. And we are back to work on something new and different. It is going to be a December daily. It's very quick and simple. It's a mask making project. And I suggest you do it as a mask making project. That's what I've been doing. I started on Monday and got halfway done. And then Tuesday I took off because I got my pneumonia shot on Monday. It was my second dose and last dose. And did great with it, except for Tuesday. It got the best of me. I slept all day Tuesday. Did not feel good at all. But I'm fine now, and I'm glad I have the shot. So this is definitely a mask making project. This December daily is going to need a front and a back page. And these will be sewn different. Okay? Just make a note. Front and back page sews differently, or cuts differently. Okay, so we need this, but I'm not going to count this in my number here, my in-between number. So I'm going to count by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. I gotta count these. 26, 28, 30, and the back page is only going to be cut in one area. That's 31 days of December. Now I know normally they go to the 25th, but I'm going to give you the option to go just a little longer with it. So that'll be 31 days, and then it has a front cover. And this will be a ring-bound journal, and I have 5 holes in it. This project is so simple. You will be able to complete it in just a few days, and then roll along through with the main body. Okay, I want to put this over here because I'm going to show you something about that. And that goes over here. And this is what it looks like. It is a 12 by 12 piece of paper. See? 12 by 12. I'm using I am using this one, Old World Winter. Got it at Hobby Lobby many years ago. I've decided, boy, I have been using it up with this project. I love it. I've been able to pick out just about a complete set of different papers for it. Now the only problem with this one is that it is single-sided. See? White on the other side. So, because of that, and because I am making this cut in it, each of these single-sided needed a piece up here, not only for strength, but just so that when you open it, it wouldn't just look white. It'd look kind of Christmassy or something. I did these at varying lengths, between, I don't know, whatever this measurement was, and a little longer and a little longer. The reason I did that was because I wanted it to lay pretty flat, and by varying the different lengths, it didn't bulk it all up on this one area. It kind of layered it in. So there's that. Okay, so I had to glue these on. So the mask making project began with pulling out the 12 by 12 pieces of paper that I needed to make 31 days. And the reason it makes 31s is because the tag is day 1 and day 2, front and back. So you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, oh, this, yeah, and 16. So you need a total of 16 plus the front cover. Okay? So you need 16 12 by 12 papers. And I would pull out one to practice on. That's what I did to start with, was I had a practice sheet. Okay, so put that aside. I saved all of my offcuts here, and I just went through and put them on the pages here just to see how it would look, and I like it. Okay, those go over there. This one goes here because I'm going to show you some more about it. That goes there. Okay, so your mask making. Make notes, because I didn't make any. Mask making this project. First, pull out your 12 by 12 and set them aside. Oh, no, don't set aside yet. Then score them at the center mark, which should be 6 inches. And then I want you to go and cut varying lengths of 12 by 12 papers. And I used the same paper pad. Some I used different paper, but and what I did is I went through and I cut about 4 of this one, 4 of another, and I just cut the paper up at varying lengths so I would use it up. So there's that. And then go ahead and glue that piece on there and use your bone folder and squish it out. Okay? And set it aside to dry. It will need to get dry. And don't worry about the fold. Once it's dry and you fold it, it's going to be perfect. See? Okay, so now we've done that part. While those are drying, I want you to get out another 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And you'll need, oh, I don't remember how many. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Oh, 10. You'll need 10. No, you're going to need more than that. You're going to need at least 10 to 12 sheets of 12 by 12. Now, I didn't, I should have measured them out at 3-inch wide, but I didn't. Most of these are 4 inches, 4.5 inches wide. Sometimes I did it wrong. There you go. That one is wrong. So at 4.5 inches wide, you have some extra left over on the end of your 12 by 12. So those can be used for tags later on. Okay. So you're going to go through and here's my reason for cutting this many of these. Is that I had to make them double-sided in order to get them to slide in and out of the envelope properly. Otherwise, they were just not, they were too flexible. So this way, there's 2 of them glued together, and that's what I have. These are 2 glued together on each one. And then I have put just a 2.5 inch circle. 2.5 inch circle at the top. I'll show you why in a second. But I had to use 3 of these, otherwise it was still too flexible. Now with having said all that, if you use like a 49 mark at heavy cardstock, you probably wouldn't need to go this far, but I would still cut 2 of these. One for day 1, one for day 2. This is just a December daily, a place to write your little quick notes about the day, all the days of December. Okay? Okay, now the way I got this was once I've got my card inserted in here, then I was able to figure out where to place this, and I just drew a little line down here and glued the front one on, then I glued 2 on the back. Okay? So there we go. So you're going to go through, don't put this on until you see how it's going to fit into each envelope, because it may not fit properly, and then this might be a little crooked here at the top. So I'm going to do each of those separately as I put them into the envelope here. I'm calling this an envelope. Okay. So this is just the finished one to show you. So I made all my cards. Next I have to cut all of my circles, and I haven't done that yet. I'm going to save that. Okay. So I have all of these, and I made my envelopes so that they were, oh, here we go. Let's just make one. Okay, so this is going to go that way. And what I did was, here's our top. And you can see I cut it to, I glued that piece on a little wrong. I may have to trim that. But I'm going to take one of these. Oops, not that one. I'm going to use this one. This was my one that I used as a guide to do the rest. And I used the same one each time. So then I put this little mark right here. And then I gave my circles. And I'm just using a regular desktop punch to punch my holes, because I knew it would punch through more than one at a time. So I have my first 3 set up, my first 3 punchers at a certain place. And one thing I found that helped was to draw a straight line out from here, this one, 1, 2, 3, and then this 4th one. And that helps to line it up in the center of the punch. Wish I could bring you down here to see it, but I can't. But you can see that lined it up. So now we're going to do the next 2. And you know, I didn't perfectly space them. I really wasn't too concerned about that. Okay, so there we go. We have that done. And then I took my 2.5 inch and I hole punched, thumbnail punched. That's a big thumbnail. I gave it a little punch here. It's hard to line up. Okay, so, ooh, I got my hand. I saved these. And then, gotta make sure my hand's not in the way. My sewing machine's right in front of me here, so because I'm going to show you what I did with that. Okay, because I put this other cardstock on the inside, it was too thick to cut through. Okay, so then I went through my little envelopes here and I cut this hole out and I cut the side holes in them and set them aside. This is still the mask making project. Then once all these were dry, I brought them back over. I trimmed up the areas that had to be trimmed. Like here, I've got some of that showing. So I went ahead and trimmed that. And then I started on the folded side and I'm going to zigzag it first. So for me, a zigzag is a number 5 here. And I did a 3.5 width and a 3.5 length. Okay, so let's sew. I'm sorry I can't get you in here to sew with me, but we can kind of look at it together. I am lining the edge of not the edge of the presser foot, but the inside edge of the presser foot here. Let me show you. So it's more like this. See, still got that space there. And that will help me to hopefully line this up properly. So I can sew it semi-straightly. And I did backspace at the beginning and at the end. Oh, sorry. I pressed its stop button and it said, hey. I think I can let this sew on its own, but I better guide it. So then I went around and each one of these envelopes I did the zigzag stitch. Uh-oh, I just ran out of, you know what, thread. So each one I zigzagged all the way around, but let me get right back to you. Alrighty, here we go. All ready to go, I hope. Okay, so once again, zigzagging with thread this time. Going around the edges, the outside edges to start. And like I said, I'm doing it as a mask making, so I'm going to do all of my zigzag stitching first, because I did a zigzag and I did a straight stitch on these. It sounds heavier because I came into that double thickness of paper. Okay, let's have a peek. Didn't do too bad for running out of thread. I didn't line them up exactly, but that's okay. I should have backstitched it though. A lot of people don't backstitch on their paper projects, but I like to. It's just something I do. Okay, so with every one of these, I don't know how many we got, but except for the front and back page, don't do those until last. Just save them so it doesn't confuse you, but mark them so that you know it's front and back. Okay, so I did the zigzag around all the pages except for front and back. Then I came back through and I'm going to do all the straight stitching now. And it's going to come right along that side there. And I put it on a 1 on my machine because that makes the needle go to its furthest point to the left. Okay? And I think I did a 3.5-inch stitch. And I am lining up my presser foot right along my zigzag so that it's stitching as close to this as I can get without going in the hole. Oh, I was going to tell you, you can glue these if you want. Now, on the other ones, I glued in between each of these, but you can see you don't really need to. But the reason I did was just to strengthen up these holes so they don't rip. So you might want to glue the bottom and then here and then in between each of these, just to give it an added strength so that the holes don't tear. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we're going to do that straight stitch. And yes, I did backstitch. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. Okay, so now we have our finished, all of our things finished. All of our envelopes. I'm going to call these envelopes because we're going to stick a big tag in them. Okay, so that is the main body. This was a practice one. I'm going to put it over here. Okay. On the back page, you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to mark your holes. Okay. First, we're going to mark this on one side. Whoops. And I'm off on my little bit here. Then I'm going to mark my holes. And the first one I'm going to put a line on just so I can line it up, and the fourth one. Then I'm going to hole punch and hole punch again. And on this one, it's the last page, I'm only going to cut this one side. I'm not going to cut the other one. I don't need to cut the other one. This will just provide us a nice little back page. There we go. And now I'll show you about the gluing, what I meant about gluing. If I can find my glue. Glue! Oh, glue, where art thou? There thou art. Okay, so this is what I meant. Was I ran down this side, and I'm not giving it a whole lot of thought, and then I ran in the middle of each one of these just to strengthen it up a little bit. I tried not to go out that way too far because I want my cards to fit in there as neatly as possible. And then I did the bottom. So you can go through, if you feel better about it, glue them first. Remove that little piece right there. And then instead of just rubbing this every which way, rub from the inside to the outside. That's going to make the glue go away from the pocket. Okay. Let that dry for a moment. Let's talk about the front page. This was our main body. Okay, on the front page, I turned this one, I want to turn this one into just a little pocket so that when somebody sends a card or something like that, I can go ahead and tuck it into this year's Christmas. Okay? Now, I folded my pages a little wrong, but I think it's going to be okay. If I don't like it, I can just trim that part off right there. So, because I know I'm going to sew it the same way that I did the others, similar, but here's what I did different. On the fold is where I put the holes. On the opening, on the outside edge, I double-sided papered it here. Upside down, of course. Let's go this way. No, it's right side. I put paper on both sides. So now we're going, and I stitched the outside edge. Now we're going to stitch this way. On the bottom, across the fold, and up to the top. So we're making our envelope now. Oh, need to go back to my ziggy zaggy stitch, which is a 5 for me. Get my stitches right. And let's begin. I'm going to stitch the same way. Trying to keep my, keep an even stitch if you can. No. Sometimes it doesn't really work out to make your stitches come to the corner correctly. I just don't worry about it. I just make them as even as I can. Okay. So here will be our front page. See this? Now we have a nice little envelope in there. But you're still going to need to stitch this piece. And the reason is that if you don't, your papers are going to come in there and get tangled up with your loops that go through here. And it's, it might get caught on it and tear it, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch mine. So I have to go back to a single straight stitch. And let me move that over there. And I'm going to do it just like I did before, lining that edge of the presser foot right up here with my zigzag. Oh, yeah, okay. Now I did use a thinner paper in here, okay? I'm not going to put any hole punches or anything in this, but if you want to put one in, I'd put it on this side, on the inside. Okay? So there we go. Now we have our book almost done. We have our front cover. We have our first page, which has always been our guide. And then we have this one is working on getting done. And let's see, let's go this one next. This is our last page, right? No. Oh, yeah, I haven't sewn it yet. So then we're going to go here, here. I'm just kind of trying to match them up, but separate a lot of the red, because I have quite a few red sheets in here. I think I'll go here though. This one will go here. I have to sew it. Then we have this one. No, that one can't go there, Ange. That's a end page. Help! I will take this one and move it up towards the front. Just so that I'm getting some of my red separated out, because there's quite a bit of red in here. Okay, and that one. So you can now see that the front and back have a back and a front. So there we go. So we need to stitch this back page. We're going to stitch it just like we did the others. I'm going to start with my zigzag. Should start with my straight stitch. It's there. But I'm not going to. I'm not going to give in. Okay. And I am stitching along the folded line first. Just because I want to make sure that that fold stays nice and crisp and doesn't get things out of whack. Sewing really fast so I don't hold you up forever. But I guarantee you that if you do this as a mask making project, well, I won't guarantee it. Depends on what your life is like. Might not work. But for me, I could have done this in 2 days. Had I not gotten my pneumonia shot. And it is, you know, a little bit of work if you're going to sew. You don't have to sew. And some things that would make it a lot quicker is... Oh, sorry, machine. I didn't mean to do that. I know you erred. The one thing that would make it a heck of a lot quicker is use a heavier cardstock. Like a 49 Market or one of those that is, you know, super thick. That will allow you to only use, and double-sided, so you don't have to cut these. So there's, you know, cutting all of those pieces is 10 minutes off of your time. These pieces right here, the inside pieces. So if you get rid of that, you've saved yourself, you know, 10 minutes there. And heavy cardstock, if you use that here, you don't have to double this up and you don't have to triple this up. So there's another 10 minutes or so. I mean, you can save tons of time. Come out of there. You did not stitch right. Okay. Still trying to stitch wrong. Okay, here we go. Now that doesn't mean that all your tags and stuff are going to be done, but your tags and stuff you're going to work on as you go through the holiday, through the month of December. So here we go. This one is now done. Let me see if I have any rings. Excuse me. I've got a glitch right there on that. Okay, let's push this back. Hang on one second. I gotta grab the rings. I don't know if I have all the same size. Okay. So here we go. I guess for us it'll be like a 2-day project because I'll have to come back and we'll have to decorate the front. So here I have these larger rings, so we're going to use the larger ones. I hope I don't have to go get even larger ones. Oh my goodness. Okay. You know, I just kind of thought a ring-bound journal might be a good December daily. I always like the way they sit. And, yeah, I just thought it might work out pretty good. There we go. And if you do this right, it'll go a lot faster. Okay, I'm going to run that to the back. Ooh. Oh boy, some of those are hard to open. Lining them all up. Guess it doesn't really matter where you put these. They're going to rotate back around anyway. Lining it up. That was easier going to the back to the front. And lining it up. Oh, that one's not very tight. It's not a tight one. Okay, so now we have a place for cards or little notes, letters, things like that that come in. So now we need to finish the mask making process, which is making these little cards that go in these slots. So I'm going to first make sure it fits. Ow. I poked my finger. Okay. So I know that this one fits down in here tighter. So now I need to hole punch some 2.5-inch circles. And you can use the same papers. You can use different papers. Whatever you like. They're going to have numbers on them. So I'll need 3 of this one. And I'm making them different than this part. Just because I wanted to. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I know that one's going to sit down in there, but as you decorate it, it's going to get a little fatter and not fit down there quite so well. So go ahead and bring it up to that even part right here. Okay. And then draw your circle. That's where we're going to put these little circles. So we'll start with this one. And I know they do look off a little bit, but I think that will be okay. So we put on our first one. I'm going to make sure my stocking is the right side up. Yeah, you can see it's off a little bit. So I wonder, I could maybe move it over a bit. No, it fits best right there, so that is about it. So you can see it's going to be off on here a little bit. Now if you don't like that, go ahead and trim it down and make it a smaller card. That would work just fine. Now I'm going to put this one on top of that one. And then I'm going to add one more just to thicken it up. There we go. Yeah, if you don't like that, go ahead and trim this down just a little bit, which is fine. Some of my cards were a little too big anyway. You could even do a decorative edge on it if you have a punch that'll go through 2 pieces of paper. Otherwise, you could use this side for a nice stripe or something like that. I think I'm going to go ahead and trim it down just a little bit. Just slightly, because I know it's too big anyway. So, I'm going to go right here. And you can see how quick that just slims it up, makes it a little bit smaller. And now I'm going to come down and I'm going to do the corners. I'm just rounding them. No, not that size. I want the big one. There we go. That looks better. And then I went ahead and used some of my offcuts and stuff on things. So like here, we could put this on in here. The others I put stripes on, but I think I'll put this in here. You could stitch around these if you wanted first. You could go around the edges with some ink. I'm not inking this time, you notice. So this was a requested video, actually, and thank you to the person who suggested it and we wondered if I would do one. This is how I would do a December daily. She asked how I would do it, and this is how I'd do it. The reason I would do it this way is that I don't want to spend a lot of time on a December daily. You know, for something that I'm not sure how I'm going to use it. This way I have one that I know I can use, and it will be fun for me to use it this way. I'm going to use this one that says this side only, back. And we'll put this one here. And you can decorate these parts up however you want. And then I'll put this one over here, I think. Maybe I'll put 2 on this one. Oh, I gotta go this way. No, that'll make that one upside down. Let's go with the poke. Ooh, that would have been a good one too. Put the polka dot here. And the music. Put music up there. So it just gives it a little bit of decoration. And when we come back through as our mask making, we'll mask make a bunch of numbers, or do them on the computer, or I might have some over there with sticky tape on them. And we'll come back and put numbers on these, like 3 and 4. That'd be day 3, day 4. So you see, you just have a small area in which to write on. And then, like on day 1, you would do all your writing, and if you have some pictures you want to put in here, say you made, you're going to your grandkids' ballet, the Nutcracker, and you take some pictures. Then you could put her picture in here and then write about it here on day 1. Okay? And then day 2, same thing. You could add pictures out here. Perhaps you got a really nice letter from somebody. Go ahead and put that in. Just glue the envelope down if you want and make it so you can pull the letter out. Or if you want, you can just decorate these pages up however you see fit. You could collage them, anything else. So we have day 1 and day 2, and now we have day 3 and day 4. So let's insert them into here. Hopefully those half dots stay there. I think I got it in backwards, sideways, backwards. Because I have them so they're set to line up. Now if I had a little bigger circle, then, it probably would have fit different. There we go. So now we have day 3 and day 4. So I'll just keep going through like that until I get down to the end, and I'll have day 31 right here. And then you have a full month of December, December daily. You could jot something down for each day. You could make little notes as you go through your day on little sticky notes, and you could stick them in here, and then when you have some time you can write about it. And I think it would be a lot of fun to do it that way. Here's another Merry Christmas. That could go on there. I kind of like that. Okay, we're going to put that one on. And do I need to come back tomorrow? Do I? I guess we could decorate up our front and back pages. Our front page and here maybe. Oh, we have to make our numbers. Yes, you're right. We have to put our numbers on. So anyway, I will be back tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be caught up on this mask making part, but I am caught up to there, and so I'm pretty happy with that. So let me get this out of the way. And I will manage to cut all my circles out today. I'm going to unplug that. And so here we are. That, my friends, I'm going to turn it this way, will be your December daily. And it will be a mask making project because it will go much, much faster. So this is only the second day I've worked on it, and this is how far I am. And if I could have worked all day on it on Monday or Sunday and Monday, or Monday and Tuesday, I'd have been a lot further. I'd have had all my circles punched and stuff like that. But you can see it's kind of a unique way to do it. You can put pockets on these. That would work. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Pocket here, pocket there, lots of different things you can do. But I like this idea because now I have something that will pretty much lay flat depending on how much stuff gets put in it. But what a nice, quick notebook for December. It's tall. It's 12 inches tall by 6 inches wide. And then you count your rings in there. You got another inch in there. But I like it. I like that it's unique, for one. I like that I can put cards in here. I like that I have a nice big area to write on, and that's it. Day 1. Ta-da! End. So there's an end on each one. I love that. You give me a couple pages, I might keep writing. And I can't, you know, December, I don't have time to keep writing. So, and I love that my numbers will be right up here and visible for me as I flip through. I just love it. And I love the sewing. It's not always straight. That's okay. That's not important. Okay, that is all I wanted to talk to you about today. And remember, this is a mass making project. So get out your 12 by 12. You need a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 pages? I thought we needed 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 pages. 17 12 by 12 in varying colors. And then you need to make 17 of these cards that are 3 to 4 inches wide. I think if I'd have gone 4 inches wide, I could have gotten 3 out of each sheet, out of each 12 by 12 paper. So, and leave them, they're not full length. See, you have to cut off a little bit on the bottom. You have to cut off 1/4 of an inch here. 1/2 inch. And so I cut the bottoms off first, then I cut the lengthwise way. So, anyway, so your 12 by 12, and then these 12 by 12. And if you use double-sided, or you don't really care about stiffening up the top, because these are kind of flexible paper, I added that paper on the inside to make it stronger and to make it prettier too. So if you use a nice sturdy cardstock, you won't have to do that step. You'll pass that one by, which would be lovely. So, and you might be able to put in a different type of cardstock here too. You might have some nice plain paper that would be stiffer than this. But I wanted mine to be heavy duty enough that I didn't have to fight with it going in and out of the pocket. So, okay, that is all I have for today. That is how I'm doing my December daily. We will come back and decorate the front page tomorrow and make some numbers, or I'll have some numbers, or I'll stamp some numbers. And we'll just see how it goes. Okay? All right. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!